deal between Greece and its creditors. The Dow is up 100 points and Nasdaq higher by 36. Merck is leading gains in the Dow, also up by 1.5% or more. American Express, Goldman Sachs, and J.P. Morgan Chase. Financials and healthcare are up about 1%, leading all sectors in the S&P 500. And the Dow transports are up nearly 1% as airlines surge. The industry is poised to rise by as much as 50% this year, based on lower fuel prices and a lack of competition. In economic news, existing home sales rose 5% in May. That was more than expected to a 5.5-year high. And the New York Federal Reserve says growth in consumption has been weak since the winter slowdown. This despite better weather, ongoing improvement in the labor market, and lower energy prices from a year ago. Again, stocks are higher. John Lesher, CNBC Radio.
Have you had trouble with online dating? This is eHarmony founder Dr. Neil Clark Warren. We've created a new solution, EH Plus. EH Plus combines the personal attention of a matchmaker with eHarmony's extensive pool of great singles. EH Plus gives you hand-selected matches and freedom from being online. Get started today. Call 855-930-LOVE. That's 855-930-LOVE.
With Kcaa, paperless e-signing is a no-brainer for any business that requires legally binding signatures fast. That's because Kcaa offers everything you should expect from an electronic signature solution for just $1 per month. Kcaa cuts document turnaround time as much as 90%, thanks in part to its #1 rated mobile app. And Kcaa's secure cloud stores documents for on-demand tracking and retrieval, saving you even more time and money. Don't think twice. Get Kcaa now for just $1 per month. Go to Kcaa.com.
Well, good afternoon. It is 2:02. I'm Di Rice with your latest weather update. Looks like we're going to be sunny, hot, highs into the mid-90s all week long. A little bit cooler than last week. Overnight lows 62. Currently, we are at 94 degrees here in San Bernardino. Looking at your drive, the San Bernardino mountain area roadways, they've got some closures going on up there, particularly Highway 38 east and westbound between Jinx Lake Road and Seven Oaks Road. And you should be taking 330 if you need to get up or down from Big Bear. And that is due to the fire up there that is 21% contained, and it has burned over 17,306 acres. So a pretty big fire, the biggest one so far this season. Other than that, through Chino, stop and go on the 60 freeway eastbound between Ramona and Vineyard Avenue. Stop and go on the 91 eastbound, also between 6th Street and Lincoln Avenue. And the Corona eastbound side is slow from the 71 to the 15. In the Cajon Pass, you got stop and go on the 15 south between Oak Hill Roads and Kenwood, and that is reduced down to 3 lanes before the escape ramp and Kenwood. That is the very latest with news, weather, and traffic on the station that leaves no listener behind. Coming up next, it is the Poorman Show, and we've got a special show in store for you here. So stay tuned. KCAA 1050 AM.
It's time for the KCAA Community Calendar, brought to you exclusively by Learn for Life, a growing network of public charter schools. The clear mission of Learn for Life is to motivate and mentor students who have dropped out of school and provide them with the personalized education and technical training necessary to advance their lives.
Here's a look at the KCAA Community Calendar. I'm Di Rice. The Sheriff's Homeless Outreach and Proactive Enforcement Team, otherwise known as HOPE, is launching a Positive Change, Not Spare Change community awareness campaign. The goal of HOPE is to educate the public. For instance, statistics show that 65% of panhandlers are not homeless, and when you give money to a panhandler, you may be contributing to a drug or alcohol addiction. Legitimate homeless service providers can channel your donation to real solutions for moving people beyond homelessness. If you or your business would like to support Hope's cause, signs, flyers, posters, and bumper stickers will be available in support of this effort. If you are interested in receiving any promotional materials, please contact Hope locally at 909-387-0623. 909-387-0623. You can also call toll-free at 844-811-4673. That's 844-811-HOPE. Or you can send your request to Hope at sbcsd.org. And that's a look at the community calendar on KCAA 1050 AM.
The KCAA Community Calendar is presented exclusively by Learn for Life, a growing network of public charter schools where students can complete their education on a part-time basis. To find a resource center nearest you, call 1-877-360-LEARN or visit Learn for Life online at learn4life.org. It's 2 o'clock Pacific and 5 p.m. on the East Coast. Live from his crib in Soho, New York City, it's the Poorman.
And good afternoon, everybody. This is going to be a really exciting show today because on Saturday, it kind of was the official kickoff of summer in Southern California. And as always, leading the way is the city of Huntington Beach, which is dubbed Surf City, USA. And we haven't really done anything on surfing or the beach at all, but today we are going to do it because a bunch of people in Huntington Beach, a bunch of surfers, beachgoers, city people, politicians, you name it, they did an incredible feat. They actually set 2 Guinness Book of World Records on Saturday at Huntington Beach Pier. So we'll be introducing you to some of the people and telling you about the broken records in just a few minutes.
Yes.
Huh?
And don't forget, I have that sound, and I have something else I want to share. And I know you don't really want to, but I want to share. I think it's very important.
All right, this is my partner, Di. For those of you who are new to the show, I know what you're going to share, and I reluctantly am having you bring this up. But go ahead.
Okay. Well, I think it's important because when you're not here, like Friday, people think that you're just out playing hooky, you're not taking the show seriously, you're having a good time. And what they don't
that's
know...
That's usually the way it is.
I'm trying to save your butt.
I'm
trying to save you here.
Either one of the two.
All right. So anyway, what he does when he's out is he finds these other ways of making revenue where he's got to be kind of out the whole entire day.
Right.
And
very little revenue, I might add.
Well, but still, it's just a cool thing. He was in this MTV commercial for a video game, correct me if I'm not right here, for Scream. Yes?
Yeah, well, what's happening is MTV is coming out with a TV series about called Scream, and it's actually based on the horror slasher movie of the 90s. It starred Nev Campbell and a few other people. And yeah, they're coming out with that. So there's an interactive video game where you can actually see if you can get away from being killed. And everybody in this interactive video gets killed.
Yeah, and so if you're not a Poorman fan, guess what? He gets killed too. But
yeah, I 2 different ways.
I want you to explain though after they hear this little bit. After they hear this bit, I want you to explain the hard part about dying in these videotapings.
Yeah, again, this is not my idea. I really don't like publicizing this.
Yeah.
And Di made me do it. And before that, Rocky, who runs our Poorman fan site on Facebook, he wanted me to do this.
See, Rocky, you're so cool.
Yeah,
you're not.
Anyway.
Rocky, you are. Okay, so here's what happens. There's a girl and a guy in the bedroom, right? She's wearing the red lace lingerie. And
right. And you never see the guy, but he's an 18-year-old kid, and he's having sex with his super smoking hot girlfriend. That's how it starts. All you see is this girl in lingerie with gigantic boobs and you name it.
And she hears a noise, and she wants her boyfriend to go check it. So he checks it, and then you hear all this noise in the house, the screams and everything, and there's a knock on the door, and there's somebody who wants to come in. Guess who the neighbor is? It is Poorman. And
right. What you have to do is you get choices of either you keep having sex with your girlfriend or you investigate the sound, or you can go downstairs and you click on the different possibilities. And the intruder is a guy who's going to kill everybody if he gets a hold of you. But it's an interactive game with different results.
Yeah.
And I guess the option where I come in, where I'm like the star, and I'm the nerdy neighbor who knocks at the door. And do you want to play the sound?
Yeah,
I don't even know if
definitely.
people can tell what's happening, but
Yeah.
I'm getting killed when you hear this.
All right, listen.
Are you okay? I saw someone creeping around your property. Go. I keep telling your father that balcony is a welcome mat for travelers. Now hold on a minute.
Okay.
That last part, I'm getting my throat slashed. And yeah, I mean, it's really funny because in shooting this, there's two really famous directors that directed this promo, and they actually handpicked me because I was in another video where I was wrestling John C. Reilly for a doll in like a Walmart, and we were all dressed in fat suits, and I had to die in that one also. But it's really weird. We had three identical outfits. If you go to MTV and you know their website, and you go to Scream, the TV series, there's right at the top, it says choose your own murder. And so, you know, you just play this game. So I had three sets of identical clothes. I'm Seymour, the neighbor, and Ethel is my wife. And so I see the prowler, I run over, and I have to be killed twice. So in order to get killed, you have a prosthetic neck because they slash my neck. And then they put a tube up through your one of three sets of clothes. And so everything has to be synced just right. They have to hit the blood to squirt out of your neck right when the knife comes across. I have to have my head up enough so that the camera can see the slashing, and then I have to die on cue. And so you practice it a bunch of times, but there's like 30 people. There's sound, there's cameras, there's special effects, there's a guy cueing the blood. And if you screw up, you've lost one of your three outfits, and I have to die two different times. So it's really kind of like not easy to do. But one of the few things I think I've done, die, how appropriate, right? Die, is I can die on camera pretty well.
Yeah.
I mean, there's a lot of things I'm really suck at when it comes to the acting thing, but I'm able to die, and I think they realize that. So
if you ever get really
slash, and now I'm on the front page of MTV's website.
Yeah, and if you ever get upset with Poorman, you can just go check out that video and go, yes, he died.
Right, you can actually like get my throat slashed over and over again. You know, if you can't stand me, this is your retribution. Anyway, I don't know why I'm talking about that, but you made me do it. Mm-hmm. And
and you got to check it out. It's on his Facebook page. It's on my Facebook page. It's on the Poorman page. It's fun. It's really fun. And I'm not even a gamer type person or anything, but it's fun to watch.
Yeah, it's Choose Your Own Murder on MTV's page. But check it out and let me know what you think. Now, coming up next on Saturday, a Guinness Book of World Records, 2 world records were set at the Huntington Beach Pier. One of which was the most surfers to ever ride one surfboard and catch one wave. It had to be ridden for at least 10 seconds. And there were 66 people that rode this, which was the other record, the biggest surfboard ever made. And both records, I'm happy to announce, Guinness accepted them as new world records. But 66 people, they had to stand up. They couldn't squat down. And so we have 3 of the people that rode the wave, 4 of them actually, that are going to be on the show in just a moment. U.S. Congressman Dana Rohrabacher is going to be with us. The organizer, the entire Guinness record, former surfing world champ Peter Townend's going to be with us.
And he's already on the line, by the way.
Surf reporter legend, my buddy who I haven't talked to in years, Rockin' Fig, will be with us. Hopefully he won't hang up on me because I love the guy. I haven't talked to him in so long. And also former U.S. surfing world champion, surfing U.S. champion with the PSAA, Fig can correct me if I'm right or wrong, Bud Lamas. All these guys are going to join us, and they all rode that surfboard. We're going to find out all about it, how this came about, how it happened, and I'm very excited to have these guys on. It should be just an awesome next couple of segments and get you guys all ready for the summer. What is it, 95 today in San Bernardino?
Yep, pretty much.
Yeah, so everybody's going to go to the beach anyway. So we'll come back with that. You're going to call the congressman. PT is calling in. I guess Fig's already on the line. And thank you, Huntington Henry, who's a big listener of this show, for hooking up all this stuff for us.
Yes, thank you, Henry.
Tired of spending too much money on an ad and then trying to find your ad in the newspaper, buried among hundreds, even thousands of other ads? Isn't it time you got a great deal when you were trying to sell that car, that dining room set, that refrigerator, or offering your handyman services? Now you can in the Nickel Shopper. For as little as $7.50 per week, your ad can be seen by thousands of eyeballs in the high desert, and they're getting the Nickel Shopper for free. Call today to place your ad in the Nickel Shopper, 760-646-3654, or go to thenickelshopper.com for all the details. 760-646-3654. The Nickel Shopper. Coming soon to the IE. Have you ever wanted to bring the beauty of the ocean right into your home or office? Or already have an aquarium and just no time to clean it? Let Scuba Steve's Fish take care of that for you, specializing in new aquarium setups and maintenance. That's scubastevesfish.net, 714-600-2739. Check out the website at scubastevesfish.net. That's scubastevesfish.net. Get it? Fish.net. Serving Orange County and parts of the Inland Empire. There's nothing worse than a dirty aquarium. ScubaStevesFish.net. This may come as a surprise, but Beatlesarama is in its 15th year of keeping the Beatles alive for a new generation. If you spent any time in the 60s, or if you're smart enough to know it was the coolest era for music, you're going to love us. Just go to Beatlesarama.com and the player should start right up. We're also available on TuneIn, iTunes, Windows Media, and more. Once you tune in, you'll be hooked. Plus, you can join our Facebook fan club and follow us on Twitter. Be sure to bookmark it. Beatlesarama.com. When I say Wave Tools, you think surfboards, right? But not just any surfboards. We're talking boards that just work better. Since Lance Collins polished off his first surfboard in 1969, Wave Tools has been cranking out the best boards money can buy for all of SoCal and beyond. Come check out what a real surf shop is all about. Real surfers hanging out any time of day at Wave Tools Surfboards. Customize that new board with a look that screams you. Wave Tools Surfboard in Costa Mesa. Go to wavetoolssurf.com or call 949-631-0887. The crew is ready to assist you. 949-631-0887.
Too many men are wimps.
Linda Gross loves men. Bet that got your attention. Linda is a men's advocate who has helped many men get their balls back. And she can help you. Her proven coaching techniques will skyrocket your confidence and boost you into action in 4 sessions or less. Stop being stupid with girls, in business, or dump a lifelong problem. Go to themensadvocate.com or email Linda info@themensadvocate.com. Mention the Poorman Show and get 15 minutes free. Also, pick up Linda's book, Mastering Women, on Amazon. Get the straight talk from the woman who knows.
All right, so we are back here, folks, and today we are celebrating the incredible Guinness World Record for the most surfers riding a wave on one surfboard. And also, I checked with Guinness today. I don't even know. PT, were you aware that they approved the biggest board ever ridden as well?
Yeah, that was approved today, Poorman. So now it's just kind of like the big banana in Australia. Everyone can come to Surf City and get their photo taken with the world's biggest surfboard.
PT, it's been so long since you and I have been on the radio. It is so cool. You are such a good friend of mine. And
it's like 30 years, Poorman, since we did the surf report with Rock and Pig and K-Rock.
Yeah, exactly. In fact, I was told by Henry, if I say the word K-Rock, Fig will hang up. What do you say the odds are of that?
Hang up, right?
Oh man, it's really good. So, did you organize this thing?
Yeah, it was my vision, because I was at when the standing record was set. It was set in my hometown of Australia.
Hey, PT, hold on just for a moment. Can you boost his sound up, Di?
Yeah.
Okay, turn him a little. Sorry,
I'll
PT.
that over again. So 10 years ago, in my hometown of Coolangatta, Nev Hyman had built the original board, which was 39 feet, and they set the record with 47 people. And then they flew that board over here on a Qantas jumbo jet, and in 2008, we did it again at the pier, and we had 60 people, but it was unofficial because you have to pay Guinness to come and actually authenticate it. They send that guy over, if you watch the video, in his little blazer with his little stopwatch and his counter. And if he doesn't come and approve it, then it's not a record. So
how much do you have to pay Guinness to come out and approve something? I'm sure you have to pay those dudes.
It's like about $7,500.
Are you serious?
Yeah.
Oh, man.
Somebody
sucks.
said to me today they might make more money out of doing that than selling beer.
Right. So he comes out, and you had a dicey situation anyway on Saturday because, Huntington Beach on south and north side of the pier almost every day of the year has waves, and I guess this past Saturday was the one day of very few where there literally was no surf at all when you guys were going to break that record, right?
Well, we didn't want too much surf. I mean, we just wanted enough to be able to get the board up and moving. And what was really happening, what was a little bit scary, was that the tide was coming in. And so Rocky McKinnon, who was my assistant on the board from a point of view of calling the waves, because between the two of us, I was the one that had to call the trip lines on the jet skis to release. Because the guy doesn't start his stopwatch until those trip lines are off the board and the board's going by itself with everybody standing. And so if you watch the video, we actually did one loop and didn't go for it. And we went round again out in those two hurley buoys that were sitting way outside. And we came through the next time, and Rocky said, "Looks like a swell FPC." I said, "I agree." And a bunch of the people on the board would go, no, that's not the one. We weren't listening to them. And I looked at Rocky, and Rocky said, "I think this is pretty good." And I just said, "Let's do it." I've got a nickname for when I've done my broadcast work as One Take Count-In. So let's do this one time. And we went for it, and there it was. We made it all the way into the Huntington hop section, and, Bud Lamas was on the board for good luck, so he might have hopped up and down. We made it through that flat, and the little reform picked us up and took us all the way up on the sand, and it was 12 seconds.
Right, and you had to go at least 10 seconds to make it an official record, right?
Right, it had to be 10 seconds with everybody standing.
And so everybody made it. Now, if there had been like a ripping south or southwest typical Huntington swell, those people would have been flying off that board like BBs, and it's possible that board could have flipped too, and it weighs 1,300 pounds or something.
Yeah, well, it wouldn't have happened, Poorman, because Chief Baumgartner had already declared that if it was over 4 feet, he'd call it off, just from a danger point of view. I got to tell you a funny story, and Chief was fantastic with us, but they're very sensitive today to accidents, because we've had a few things happen here in Orange County in the last couple of years. When we met with him about a year ago, and he was very serious, he went, "You know what, gentlemen?" He goes, I spend my entire 365 days of the year to not allow these things on the beach.
But now we're talking to Peter Townend, who's a former surfing world champion. In fact, the first one, he organized this gigantic board, 42 feet long, 1,300 pounds. And let's see, the length was 42 feet.
The first one was 39 feet. So just a quick little bit of history there. So Nev Hyman made the board, and the original one, and he helped build this one too. So we got his CAD plans from the last one and extended it 3 feet so we could claim the world's biggest surfboard as well. But it was also superior, and we changed the 3-pin setup to a quad setup so the board would track better, and because we don't need to turn it, we just need to get on the wave and make it to the beach.
And there were 66 people on the board. In fact, you're joined right now by your fellow HB buddies. U.S. Congressman Dana Rohrabacher was on that surfboard also. He was one of the 66. And Rockin' Fig, my buddy, surf reporter Rockin' Fig. And I've talked to Dana more recently than I've talked to Fig. Fig, how long has it been since you and I have talked?
Gosh, I probably haven't seen you for a couple of years. When I just saw you in that one van with all the cash, the money all over the side of it. Remember?
I don't think I've spoken to you probably in 15 years.
Was he out of jail then? Was he out of jail then?
I might have been in jail. Congressman Rohrabacher, all you guys were on the board together trying to catch that. Dana, I can't believe you were able to stand up, because the last time I talked to you, you told me you couldn't surf anymore because you were too sore or something.
That's my shoulders. Hey, I had 25 years of really, really good surfing for somebody who's in Congress. But then my shoulders gave out about a year ago. I was only afraid on that big board that what would happen is I'd fall over. I couldn't push myself up. Because I got arthritis in the shoulders. However, I stood up the whole time. It was cool.
Yeah, and Dana, how old are you now, if you don't mind me asking?
I'm actually 160 years old. But the thing that you're asking, however, when the young girls at the beach were asking, I was only actually 35 then.
Fig, you know what? I saw a lot of the publicity. Fig, you got in there just as always. You're amazing. What was it like, Fig, being on there with 66 people on that giant board? I mean, you're used to like riding some pretty incredible waves, and what was that like?
I'll tell you what, it was kind of cramped, man. 66 people on that 42-foot board were all shoulder to shoulder, and I had the big Kcaa, Ian Carnes, sitting in front of me. So he's like about 6'4", and another big guy on the outside of me, and I was just kind of like, whoa, just hanging in there.
Yeah, Ian Carnes is another great surfer, and his wife was on there too. She was a female surfing champion, Elisa Schwartzstein Carnes too, right?
Yeah, Lisa was on there as well.
And those, Chuck Lennon, he's legendary. David Nueva was up on the tip. He was trying to hang 10 up there on the nose. We had the Danger Woman, Kim Hamrock, of course, PT, Buddy Lamas. All the boys were hanging, and a couple cuties, some girls there. I think we're asking about you.
Oh yeah, for sure.
and Poorman, of course, we had Brett Simpson, two-time U.S. Open champion, right up on the front, because the actual board was modeled after a Brett Simpson board. The color scheme is like this color scheme that Brett currently rides on the WS World Tour.
Yeah, Dana, how did PT, since you organized this, how did you decide how many people would ride, and did you have to turn some people down that you weren't going to allow? Obviously, you have to allow the congressman to be on there.
I had more good friends in the last week before this thing than you've ever believed.
Everybody in the whole town wanted to be on that board. I'm sure they were offering PT $500 just to get on that thing.
Is that really true?
What you got on the board was we had a criteria. The Visitors Bureau made the final selections. There was a committee, and it was based on whether you were inducted into the Hall of Fame or Walk of Fame, whether you had some cultural significance like Dana and Travis Allen, the Assemblyman. And then on the other side, there were sponsors. I mean, there were some big sponsors. As you saw, there was a big Hurley logo. You saw the Toyota truck that drove the board actually from the boatyard down to the beach, just like it was the shuttle.
Hey, wait a minute. This is Dana. Wait a minute. Hold on. You mean there was a committee? Some guy came to me and said, if you give me a bottle of tequila, I'll get you on the surfboard. You mean he wasn't real?
So anyway,
you should have seen the crowd down there, too. It was looking like a U.S. Open. I mean, the pier was lined up with people, tons of people on the beach. I mean, I thought only maybe a couple hundred people show up, but, there was probably like 10,000 people for sure.
What time of the day did you guys do it? What time was it?
15,000 people.
I think it was.
What time did you guys do it at?
The actual ride took place at around 10:30.
And I also heard, PT, that making that board, it was 1,300 pounds, 42 feet long. I heard it was made back east, and then you had to take it in two pieces.
What happened, is the blank was cut back east by a CAD machine. So we had a 42-foot blank in two sections, and then they trucked it across America to Orange County to Westerly Marine, and that's where it was put a big stringer in it, like a 2-inch, 42-foot piece of maple, and then it was laminated and, finally finish coated and built like a regular surfboard.
And did you guys pay the $70,000 from Congressman Rohrabacher's campaign fund?
No, it came from a variety of sources and sponsors, and you got to think about it for a moment. the media coverage, Poorman, was amazing. Good Morning America, Sunrise Australia, which is the Australian version of the social media, was just unbelievable. I mean, I had a text within about 2 minutes from Australia, had seen it already on a video from a cell phone in Australia. And so if you think about it for a second, so the Visitors Bureau spent maybe in total $100,000 to build the surfboard and all the infrastructure. They got arguably over $10 million worth of publicity worldwide on International Surfing Day.
Right, and I guess it's important to say too that the city of Huntington Beach didn't put out the 70 grand, right?
No, it was sponsors. Hurley, Toyota, the Shorebreak Hotel, Duke's Restaurant. Those were the four really big ones, and that's why you saw their logos up on the nose, just like it'd be a sponsored surfboard. And then there was a whole bunch of other smaller sponsors. For anything, we had to wax it. Remember, we had 50 bars of wax, 50 bars of starch coat, and then 50 bars of regular wax. We had to wax the thing.
Yeah, I saw that on the video. Hey, Dana, Congressman, we got Congressman Dana Rohrabacher, United States Congressman. How many years now? 22 years as a congressman?
26.
20. Wow.
Hey,
and I've had a few tequila shots with you guys.
I went out there, got up really early Saturday morning to go out there, but it was a celebration of surf culture, and it reattached Huntington Beach in a very big way to surf culture, and all of the businesses that we just heard who are sponsoring this. Everybody was together. A lot of people we haven't seen out on the break line for a long time. And everybody was there, and it was really a celebration of those of us who grew up in Southern California and consider ourselves to be, part of a whole different culture than everywhere else. And I think that's what got everybody's attention. Hey, here's a culture, a bit of culture that you need to listen to the music, watch them have fun, and we have a lot to say, and that's what we were saying that day.
And we did it! We brought the record to Surf City, Huntington Beach. Yeah, now!
That's Rockin' Fig. He was on. There's 66 surfers surfed this one wave for 12 seconds to be the longest, the most people riding one surfboard in one wave. It had to be 10 seconds. They did it for 12 seconds. Rockin' Fig is there. PT, former Surf World champ, Peter Townend, he's on the line. Congressman Rohrabacher is on the line. And we want to add the next member of the 66, who was also on that surfboard, all of yours, good buddy, legendary surfer Bud Lamas is with us as well.
Yeah, boys. Yeah, Figgy. World record.
Yeah, just sold the board, man.
Yeah. See? We got to do that once a year.
Shot, Bud.
Hey, Bud, what was it like for you being on that surfboard with 66 people?
Oh man, it was a rush for sure, because everybody's so knitted so tight on that thing, and we're all holding each other just in case. We don't want a domino effect, and fall. But once we caught that wave, it was killer.
But
sure.
I mean, the surfboard looked like a gigantic raft. Did it honestly feel like you were surfing when you guys were on it?
Well, yeah.
Once we actually,
sure, absolutely.
Once we were into the wave, it just felt like the same sensation you would if you were on the wave by yourself on a big surfboard.
We rode the wave. So
hey, we even did a little Huntington hop on the inside.
What was that, PT?
I said we even did a little Huntington hop on the inside to get into the shore break.
Yeah. I'm just amazed there weren't some Democrats on that surfboard that looked at Congressman Rohrabacher and thought, this is my chance.
Seconds, and then all of a sudden the board looked like it was going to start curling in the shore break, started turning sideways. Everybody held on, the fin stuck in the sand, and then everybody started dismounting off the thing.
Nuevo was first off the tip.
Hanging on, going, yeah, we did it.
Who was first off the tip?
David
Nueva. Wow, surfing
Hey, you guys, I saw you in the video looking down at him.
Hey guys, I've got some sound of you guys setting the record for 66 people riding one wave. Do you want to hear how it sounded up from the beach while you guys were riding?
Love to.
Sure.
All right, here we
Go for it, Di.
They might catch this one. They got the power to do it. Here comes the swell. All right, they're having a go, and the drone has a little tail that's wagging. This is it. Okay, so they gotta release the bow lines. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. People on the shoreline, get out of the way, please. People on the shoreline, get out of the way. Beautiful, beautiful dismount. Yeah! It's a party wave. It's official. We broke the record.
Next.
Man, that was Mike Downey. Mike Downey.
Oh, really? That was Mike Downey doing the commentary?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Well, I got to tell you guys something. I have to go to Washington, D.C., and people want to know what it's like being a congressman. It's like being on a surfboard with 66 people, each of them thinking they're in charge.
Hey, Dana, where were you positioned on the board? Were you near the front, or were you in the middle, or in the back? Where were you?
I was right in the middle, holding on to everybody.
And did they help pick you up off the ground? I mean, when you were squatted?
Actually, I think I was able to get. Listen, I'm able to push up with my legs. It's my shoulders that have the arthritis. So
you're a trooper, though, dude. Seriously, I give you full mad respect. I mean, for Bud and PT and Fig, I mean, they're like pro surfers. It's nothing for those guys.
Hey, I'm honored to be on the same board with those guys. And David Nueva, man, I'll tell you, the one thing I was disappointed in is that he cut his ponytail.
Okay. Hey, Di, you can jump in and ask that. Go ahead.
Yeah,
my co-host has a question for all of you guys.
Yeah, what would have happened if someone would have fallen off? Would you guys have started over and just tried for the record on another?
Well, we only needed the beat.
Yeah, we had five tries,
so
I
we
think,
could afford to have
do
10
it.
people fall off.
They were saying, I think.
And also that we were allowed to have 5 attempts. So if we hadn't have done it on the very first one, we had 4 more chances to come to the beat, restage, start all over again, and go out. But as I said, I said 1 takedown, and we'll do this one time, Rocky. Let's go.
Cool, very cool.
You did it on the first try, right?
Absolutely, the first attempt to tow in. We did 2 circles. We had run. We didn't see a swell, so we just circled back around through the buoys again, and in the second circle we went for it, and that was the wave.
You know, I've got a list here of all 66. I think I can read it in 1 minute, and if you guys want to jump in and have any comments at the end.
Right.
I mean, I think we should give everybody credit. Don't you agree? Because I'm talking to you 4, but there were 62 others. Do you mind if I do this really fast?
Go ahead. Hey, you know
okay, and I hope some of them become sponsors of my radio show. There is an ulterior motive. All right, Aaron Pay, is that how you pronounce it, honey? HSS?
Aaron Pay, owner of Surf and Sport, Huntington Surf and Sport.
Alfredo Martinez?
He was a journalist from National Geographic.
Alicia Schwartzstein-Cairns, we already mentioned her name.
Alicia.
Andy Verdone?
Coach of the Huntington Beach High School surf team.
Blaine Morgan?
Not sure. He was one of the sponsors.
Bob Bolin?
That's the Greek. Greek surfboard.
Yeah, that's Bob the Greek.
Bob Steele?
That's the guy who, without him, we wouldn't have. He built the board. That's my friend from Australia who's in the yacht business.
Brent McNally?
Sponsor?
Brett Barnes?
He's the general manager of Duke.
Served as waterman as well. Brett Detmer served as waterman as well.
That's right.
Brett Simpson was on it. Buddy Lamas, of course, is on the phone with us right now. Caitlin Evanson, not Caitlin Jenner, right?
Yeah, Caitlin Evanson was the girl who won. There was a Facebook competition, and she was one of the winners in the Facebook competition.
All right. Caitlin Jenner wasn't on there, though, right?
I'm not sure.
Chad Nielsen?
Was that Bruce or Caitlin?
He turned us down.
Chad Nelson.
He's the CEO of Surfrider Foundation.
Chris Cole.
He's the city manager from point of view. If you want to have any permit on the beach, like the Vans US Open of Surfing, he's the one that signs off on it.
And PT is he's like the encyclopedia, huh, guys?
Yeah, he is.
Chuck Lennon. We talked about him.
Surfing Walk of Fame, Chuck Lennon.
Dan Foote.
from Verb TV. He actually was filming that in the video you saw that Matt Liffring did. He was the one with the point of view camera that we saw from the board.
Okay, Dan Foote.
Dan Foote, that's him.
Oh, okay. Yeah, sorry. I
It's
just mentioned
Dave,
that. David,
Dave
let me
Foote.
mention these all. David Dominguez, David Nueva, Debbie Beecham, Drew Rowland, Duke Ipa.
And that's Ben Ipa's son.
Go ahead, PT.
That was Ben Ipa's son, Duke, who lives in Huntington now.
Wow. Very cool. Eddie Uliaz, is that how you pronounce that?
Yeah, I'm not sure. I think he was from the city.
Frank Pazik, Fred
From
Korubel.
Toyota. Without him, we don't have a truck to get us to the beach. Right,
Okay.
Beach.
Gary Sahagan, longboard crew, Gene Smallwood, George Lambert Jr., Glenn Brumage, Ian Carnes, Jamie Hariver, Jeff Deffenbaugh, Jeff Snow. I know some of these people too. John Etheridge, John Makoff, Jonathan Hale, Justin Wessels. These are all the people that are on the board, folks. Bear with me. We'll get through this real quick. Kaylin Kleiss.
Yeah, another girl that won through the Facebook competition.
Kelly Kenny, Kelly Miller, Kevin Ashford, Kevin Keller, Kim Danger Woman Hamrock. Danger Woman?
Danger Woman was on there.
Then there's a Lance with no last name. Lakey Peterson, Lindsay Steinride, Makoto Gomabuchi.
Yeah, from Jack.
Mike Adams, Mikey Anderson, Nev Hyman, who you mentioned, Paul Strauch.
Paul Strauch. Yeah, one of the most famous Hawaiian surfers of all time.
Okay, Pete Hamboards. Peter
Yeah,
Townend,
Hamboard
who's
board.
that guy? Representative U.S. Congressman Dana Rohrabacher, Rick Rockin' Fignetti, Rocky McKinnon, Sam
We know that guy.
Burnell, Scott Smith, Stephanie Wilson, Steve Thompson, Sumo Seda, Tom McElroy, Tim Stamps, Tony Mungo, Travis Allen, and Donald Trump. Just kidding.
And actually, Timmy Turner was on there, a filmmaker too.
Oh,
Yeah,
really?
Peter Turner was on there, and then we had a Surfer magazine photographer that was the only one that was on there with a big camera to get the point of view. He stood right on the tail block, so we haven't seen his photos yet.
Is it honestly, guys? In all seriousness, we've got 4 people who rode a 42-foot long surfboard, the biggest surfboard ever made. You can see it in Huntington Beach, starting when at the Huntington Surf Museum.
Well, before that, Poorman, we're going to tow it in the 4th of July parade.
Oh, really? Is it going to be in the 4th of July parade this year? That's cool.
Terrific. Wow.
Yeah, no, it's going to get towed in the 4th of July parade by, of course, a Toyota truck.
Oh, somebody just texted me. They say, "I'll bet that the pier would have fallen if that wave missile hit the posts."
What I want to know is why we didn't shoot the pier. That's what we.
Yeah, well, that would have been one big ding if we hit the pier.
Well, it might have been a little wide. It might have been
David Driver in the middle. Why not shoot the pier?
Yeah.
Don't think it'll fit.
Anyway, so on with me, Buddy Lamas, of course, a great surfer, won many U.S. championships, U.S. events, PSA. I can remember I called some of those. We got Rockin' Fig, surf reporter, surf announcer extraordinaire. We have Peter Townend, former surf world champ, and Congressman Dana Rohrabacher, U.S. Congressman Rohrabacher. Hey, Congressman, can I ask you one question about politics? Do you guys mind? You guys are surfers. It's up to you guys.
Oh, no, go for it.
Okay, what do you think about them taking down the Confederate flag in South Carolina, or the governor wanting to do that today with the shootings at that church?
Well, everybody's very upset with the shootings at the church, obviously. But and I think that, frankly, when we're talking about surf culture here, I think that we out here in California, we've got a place where people can come and really let everything out and go surfing, etc. So I'm really happy. I think we have less of that in California because of the openness of our society. About the Confederate flag, there's a lot of bad things I would like to say. Hey, this is not good vibes. Don't do it. But I wouldn't make it a law, and that's one of them. And that's for the people of South Carolina. They're pretty well everybody make that decision themselves.
Awesome. And what do you think about the president using the N-word?
I didn't even hear about that. What's that all about?
Do one of the surfers know, PT? Did you hear about that, or Bud or Fig?
Just to add to that, Poorman, you're probably not aware. Dana, I think, might have only found out on the weekend. Is we're all going back to Washington D.C. in August as a group of surfers, because for the first time ever, the Smithsonian Museum is going to put a surfing culture installation in the Smithsonian.
Are you really
That's
seriously?
Cool.
Yeah, we're all going back there on August 20th. About all the stars of the endless summer, and then about 4 or 5 others, including former Senator Fred Hemmings. He's going. Paul Strauss going. Myself, and so we're going to be in Washington D.C. Having a big gala. And there's even rumor that, because, Obama says he surfs, he says he's going to turn up.
Dude, that is so cool. I mean, surfing's one of those
we're
sports
having a big luau in Washington, D.C.
But that's really true? You're not pulling my third leg.
No, that's for real. We're on August 20th, we're having the Shaq Luau in Washington, D.C. at the Ronald Reagan Center.
Oh, man, that's great. Dana, you're going to be there, I'm sure, right?
I'm sure. I hope so.
If I'm in the country, I will be there.
Yeah. Hey, by the way, Di, we can barely hear the congressman according to our text.
Yeah, well, I'm adjusting as each one are talking.
We're trying to adjust 4 people on the line at one time.
Well, 4 people
on our masterful radio station system at Kcaa.
2 people through 2 different channels. So you guys don't all have your own channel. 2 of you are sharing, and two others are sharing. So
who are the 2? Who's sharing with who?
I think.
I got to jump.
You got to. Okay.
I got to jump off now. But thanks very much. And listen, I am a proud guy to have been part of this great endeavor, showing the world this surfboard, but it was also just showing the spirit of happiness that we get together here as surfers. And so I was very, very honored to be asked to join that crew. So thank you all. Good night. And
cool.
I got to run now, so sorry about that.
Okay, hey, Dana, thanks a million
Thank you,
for
Congressman.
being on. You're a great guy. I really appreciate you coming on.
Aloha.
Everybody surf, there'd be less tension in the world, I'll tell you that.
Right. Yeah, I can remember when Fig used to Fig taught me how to surf, and he'd take me through the pier on a ripping swell, and that was not fun.
Hey, Poorman, I just got out of the water. It was like 2 to 4 foot. Water's like 67 degrees. It's all sunny and hot down here in the 80s, man. You're missing out. You got.
I just got out of the water too, Fig.
Come down.
I just got out of the water too, Fig. I surfed.
You got to come down to 17th Street Board Shop too. I got lounge shop now too.
You guys are awesome. I really can't thank you enough for being on the show today. It's really, it's like a reunion.
All these girls in bikinis on the beach, too, they're all asking about you today.
Yeah, just send them to my apartment here in New York. Oh, by the way, a news update for you guys. The Confederate flag in South Carolina was just removed.
Oh, boy.
Well, man, you're going to have to come to Washington, D.C. then if you're in New York.
Huh.
Yeah, I know. What am I doing here? Hey, when I come back, I'm going to come by and see you guys. And thanks a million for being on the show today.
No problem,
thanks for having us.
We have great way to put it together, PT, and way to be part of it, Buddy and Fig.
Yeah.
Thank you, Poorman, for having us on the show.
All right, you guys take care.
Okay.
Bye.
See ya.
Don't forget to visit.
Okay. Oh yeah,
right.
Absolutely.
Okay. All right.
Oh, man, those guys are funny. I have plenty of stories involving all those guys, but we'd probably get arrested if I told you them on the air. Anyway, we'll be back here. I hopefully Carl from the Nickel Shopper is still planning on calling in today. Has he called in yet, Di?
No. Well, how could he? All our lines have been busy.
Everybody was on the line.
Yeah, so let me call him. I'll go ahead and do that.
I think we wore out the congressman, huh? We kept him on for 30 minutes.
Oh, he's a busy man. He's a busy man.
Yeah, he's a good guy. I've drank plenty of tequila with him.
Yeah.
And I've done plenty of other things with some of the other guys. All right. We'll be right back, and hopefully we'll have Carl from the Nickel Shopper right after this.
Are you starting a business, have a business, but need to help ensure it's operating compliant with the law? Do you have business contracts with other parties that need to be reviewed to ensure they're protected and you avoid costly litigation? At the law offices of Michael W. Brown, we specialize in providing legal advice to businesses to ensure they succeed. Our firm can help you select the correct business structure, such as a corporation, LLC, or partnership. If your business needs a contract prepared or reviewed, we can help. The law offices of Michael W. Brown has over 20 years' experience providing practical and cost-effective legal advice to small, medium, and large businesses.
I'm Michael Brown, and my firm has helped our clients get their businesses off to the right start, grow, and be successful. We represent businesses of all sizes, large, medium, small, and even the individual. Our firm has experience in a variety of industries, including medical and healthcare, manufacturing, distribution, and telecommunications, and I know I can help your business as well.
Now you can have your own legal department for your business, ready when you are at a fraction of the cost. Initial consultations are always free. Call us at 949-636-8128 or visit us at mwb-law.net. Leather doesn't have to be expensive. Not when it comes from Lucerne Lapidary and Leather in the Lucerne Valley. Who doesn't like leather? Get leather belts, wallets, gun belts, holsters, rifle scabbards, and original design handmade saddles. But that's not all. There's jewelry, custom design, custom cutting, shaping, engraving, polishing, repair, and more. Even classes in jewelry design. Come see it for yourself in the high desert. Lucerne Lapidary and Leather, 32776 Old Woman Spring Road in the Lucerne Valley. Call 760-885-7777. That's 760-885-7777. This may come as a surprise, but Beatles-orama is in its 15th year of keeping the Beatles alive for a new generation. If you spent any time in the 60s, or if you're smart enough to know it was the coolest era for music, you're going to love us. Just go to BeatlesOrama.com and the player should start right up. We're also available on TuneIn, iTunes, Windows Media, and more. Once you tune in, you'll be hooked. Plus, you can join our Facebook fan club and follow us on Twitter. Be sure to bookmark it. BeatlesOrama.com.
I told Di, don't play the bumper with snorting, and of course it was played twice.
Well, they all have it, I think.
Hey, could people even hear that? What do we have? 30 on Ustream today?
Yeah, but we're not
interesting
supposed to
because
mention, we're
you're
not supposed
always
to mention
battling
that.
when you talk about surfing with people that it's hard to make it mainstream, but I'm telling you, it's the coolest, and if you just keep on going into that culture, I really think that the surf and the beach scene's where it's at. I really do.
Well, yeah,
and
that's
plus
why
there's
everyone.
hot chicks and barely nothing, and that's what I like. Isn't that what you like, Carl? When you're out picking up hay bales in the middle of the high desert, Carl Kearns is with us, the owner of the Nickel Shopper. How would you like instead to be at the beach with some bikini girls?
Wow, that sounds like it would really be a wonderful, fantastic misadventure.
Misadventure.
See, you know what? You know what? All Carl does
because
is
he's
work.
married.
He has a hay business. He has a Nickel Shopper, and he works all the time. And you never get out of the high desert to experience anything but your work, right?
That is true. And one of these days, I'm going to come down there and hang out with you for an hour or two and see what we can get stirred up.
You're going to hang out at the
Carl,
beach?
You know what? The Confederate flag was just taken down in South Carolina. What do you think about that?
Well, I kind of have mixed feelings on it. It represented the South. The South lost the war. And taking that down really isn't going to change people's perspective. I mean, racists are going to be racist, and they come in all colors.
But do you think any black people might be flying that Confederate flag in South Carolina? I mean, is it all white people?
No, actually, there are a lot of black people that I knew in the South that they were proud of the Confederate flag.
I don't think this is my feeling. And again, it was obviously the pressure of doing that is huge. But to me, that kid, what's so bizarre is he looks so sweet and innocent, that guy who went into the church and killed all those people. To me, it was just a deranged human being doing an absolutely hideous act. I mean, that's the way I look at it.
Yeah, exactly. And, you can see by the expression on the guy's face that he was 3 bubbles off plum. Same way with, Timothy McVeigh, same thing there.
What do you think, Di?
What do I think about? Oh, yeah, I think he's mentally deranged. I think he's really he's got a few marbles,
What do you think about them taking down the flag?
Well, it's not the American flag that they took down. So.
What is your boyfriend? Your boyfriend is black. What does he think about it?
Honestly, I don't know. I haven't even talked to him about that. So.
You guys don't go home and talk about racial issues?
We've talked about certain things. You got Joe here. Maybe Joe wants to respond.
Okay, put Joe on. If anybody
come
wants
on,
to call
Joe.
in and talk about this,
come on, Joe.
888-909-1050. In the meantime, Joe, what's up?
Okay, he's actually going to the actual on-air or the studio with all the mics and everything.
Oh, great. Well,
and that's
Carl,
where he's going to go
real quickly, what we challenge you to do is find deals. You're the nickel shopper. Are there deals that actually you can get stuff for a nickel?
Yes, indeed. And this week there is a leather headband.
Wow.
For a nickel. And also Infuse printing outfit. They're down in L.A. and also
Infuse branding.
That's it.
That's it. That's Steve. That's our friend Steve.
That's Steve. Yep,
yeah.
Our friend Steve. And he's got a special going where you get your first 500 cards for $28.95 and an extra 500 cards for only a nickel. And it says right at the top of his ad here, right in front of me, Crazy Nickel Shopper Special Printing Deal.
Oh,
there
right.
you go.
I wonder if Steve is Howard Shin.
He said
has
that
the same last name, but there's a Steve Shin and I know a Howard Shin.
Steve says that Howard's his brother.
Oh, is that right?
Well, I don't know. I don't really know. I mean, he also says he lives in Redlands, but we send everything to Pasadena where he actually works.
That's where Howard lives. Well, if it is, this Howard or Steve, that's great.
Yeah.
Well, that's a good deal. What about and the headband, is that at your store?
Yes, and you can call in for that area code 760-885-7777.
And how much would that headband normally cost?
That headband normally is about $6 or $7.
Wow,
what a steal!
For a nickel.
What a steal!
What about just something in general? Is there anything you can get for a nickel? Period anymore?
Actually, yes. As a matter of fact, I did have somebody listen to the show and pointed it out to me. At our local market, you can go in and actually buy a plain white envelope, standard size, for a nickel.
Wow.
I was thinking, we mentioned gumballs the other day, and I said they were a dime. Actually, gumballs are a quarter, I think.
Wow.
Now.
Yeah, now actually they are. Very few items. You really won't see anything at price for a nickel anymore. That's kind of gone by the wayside.
Hey, Joe is it Joe Britt?
Yes.
Joe Britt is on the line. He's African American, and hang in there, Carl. Let's ask him. We got like a minute and a half left. What do you think about the Confederate flag coming down, or do you think that this guy's just a deranged idiot, and it's all by himself? And
that's a couple of questions. Thank God we live in a country where we're supposed to be free, everyone, every American, and I see things a little bit different. There's only one race on this blue dot, and we're all humans. Now, if you come to me and you look kind of different, you got 12 fingers and 12 toes, I can put you in a different category. But for the rest of us here, we're all part of the human race. And, the war was lost a long time ago. They lost. Give it up. You lost. Give it up, So I look at the American flag, and hell, I would bleed red, white, and blue for the American flag. But the Confederate, they lost. Give it up, Put your country flag out there, which is the Stars and Stripes. Yeah.
So you think it's about time they take it down?
It should have been taken down a long time ago. Long time.
And what about this guy who shot up the church? Do you think he's just an isolated dude?
No. There's a subculture that's kind of deranged out there that we are probably going to have to start taking notice. Because we don't need to have a civil war in our own country. We don't. We don't need to have a black versus white in this country. We don't. We can't afford it. To divide and conquer, Who wants to be conquered by an outside force? And if we were to have a civil war, divide and conquer, believe me, there's certain countries that probably take advantage of that situation. We don't need that here in America.
All right, you're up next. Whose show is on next?
Mark's going to be on next, I think.
Oh, Mark's going to be on next? I missed Trevor's show on Friday. I heard that was good. I actually heard part of it. I liked it.
All right. Say goodbye.
Well, hey, thanks, Joe.
Take care.
Okay.
Hey, goodbye, Poorman. Goodbye, Di.
Thanks, Carl.
Hey,
See you later.
Carl Kearns
Okay,
from the
guys.
Nickel Shopper, my bro. Thanks, Carl.
You got it, dude. Bye.
Bye.
You're on board KCAA's Inland Talk Express. KCAA, Loma Linda, 1050 a.m., the station that leaves no listener behind.
I'm John Lesher. CNBC Radio stocks are rallying as investors remain optimistic about a deal between Greece and its creditors. The Dow is up 100 points and Nasdaq higher by 36. Merck is leading gains on the Dow, also up by 1.5% or more. American Express, Goldman Sachs, and J.P. Morgan Chase. Financials and healthcare are up about 1%, leading all sectors in the S&P 500. And the Dow transports are up nearly 1% as airlines surge. The industry is poised to rise by as much as 50% this year based on lower fuel prices and a lack of competition. In economic news, existing home sales rose 5% in May. That was more than expected to a 5.5-year high. And the New York Federal Reserve says growth in consumption has been weak since the winter slowdown. This despite better weather, ongoing improvement in the labor market, and lower energy prices from a year ago. Again, stocks are higher. John Lesher, CNBC Radio.
Have you had trouble with online dating? This is eHarmony founder Dr. Neil Clark Warren. We've created a new solution, EH Plus. EH Plus combines the personal attention of a matchmaker with eHarmony's extensive pool of great singles. EH Plus gives you hand-selected matches and freedom from being online. Get started today. Call 855-930-LOVE. That's 855-930-LOVE.
With Kcaa, paperless e-signing is a no-brainer for any business that requires legally binding signatures fast. That's because Kcaa offers everything you should expect from an electronic signature solution for just $1 per month. Kcaa cuts document turnaround time as much as 90%, thanks in part to its #1 rated mobile app. And Kcaa's secure cloud stores documents for on-demand tracking and retrieval, saving you even more time and money. Don't think twice. Get Kcaa now for just $1 per month. Go to Kcaa.com.
It's time for the KCAA Community Calendar, brought to you exclusively by Learn for Life, a growing network of public charter schools. The clear mission of Learn for Life is to motivate and mentor students who have dropped out of school and provide them with the personalized education and technical training necessary to advance their lives.
Here's a look at the KCAA Community Calendar. I'm Di Rice. Lifestyle Magazine and Quade Harley-Davidson of Loma Linda present the Lowrider Circus Saturday, June 27th. The fun begins at 10 a.m. and continues through 6 p.m. at Quade Harley-Davidson, located at 25160 Redlands Boulevard in Loma Linda. There will be a car and bike show, a car hop competition, vendors including food vendors, live bands, bounce houses, clowns and a circus show, face painting, games for the kids, and a monster truck display. Buy your tickets in advance and pay only $20, or buy your tickets the day of the event for $25. For tickets or schedule of details, come by Quade Harley-Davidson in Loma Linda at 25160 Redlands Boulevard or call 909-796-8399. 909-796-8399. Whatever you do, mark the Lowrider Circus on your calendar and get ready for some good old-fashioned fun Saturday, June 27th, brought to you by Lifestyle Magazine and Quade Harley-Davidson. That's a look at the community calendar on KCAA 1050 AM.
The KCAA Community Calendar is presented exclusively by Learn for Life, a growing network of public charter schools where students can complete their education on a part-time basis. To find a resource center nearest you, call 1-877-360-LEARN or visit Learn for Life online at learn4life.org.
This is Scientific American's 60-Second Science. I'm Christopher Intagliata. Got a minute? Winter is high time for humidifiers because dry air can irritate your throat. But a new study finds that arid conditions might have influenced the development of the very languages that some people speak.
Extensive research on human physiology suggests that really dry air makes it harder for us to use our vocal cords very precisely.
Caleb Everett, an anthropological linguistics professor at the University of Miami. He and his colleagues recently investigated that dry throat phenomenon in regards to complex tonal languages, like Cantonese, where various combinations of rising and falling tones can actually change the meaning of a word, as opposed to non-tonal languages, like English or Italian. In the non-tonals, the fundamental meaning's the same, whether I say word, word, or word. By mapping the distribution of more than 3,700 tonal and non-tonal languages, Everett and his colleagues found that tonal languages tend to cluster in warm, humid areas, and they're 10 times less prevalent in dry, sub-freezing climes, like Siberia, compared with non-tonal languages. The study's in the Proceedings of the National Academy of Sciences. Of course, it's physically possible to speak a tonal language in a cold place.
Obviously, speakers of Cantonese, for instance, can communicate in Siberia and in other dry places.
The big picture, Everett says, is that language evolves in relation to where it's spoken.
Language does not evolve in a vacuum. It is not impervious to the effects of environment. Just as ecologies impact human behavior and the adaptive processes of human cultures in myriad ways, they seem to also influence the ways in which languages develop.
Thanks for the minute. For Scientific American's 60-Second Science, I'm Christopher Intagliata.
You're listening to KCAA, your good neighbor along the way.
Nastiness, pure, unadulterated nastiness. And people all across the nation saw it in the Los Angeles Times on Sunday. Hi, this is Mark Westwood, Operations Manager at KCAA 1050 AM. Some of you may have seen a pretty horrible article about San Bernardino published in the Los Angeles Times last Sunday. If one only depended on the LA Times, you would be afraid to live in San Bernardino or travel here. And that's exactly what our good old city doesn't need. As someone who calls San Bernardino my hometown and grew up in a place that only those who have lived here can call Berdoo, I'm outraged. And so should you be. This article was way out of line, one-sided, and pointless. The Los Angeles Times, a city with plenty of what they chastise San Bernardino for, became a big city bully, and it's time for them to answer. How easy is it to throw something together and sing the same old San Bernardino song, San Bernardino sucks? Things have changed. People are working hard, and San Bernardino is getting better every day. But, they want some cheap entertainment and a quick buck. It's time to stand up for our hometown, and it's time to take on the notion that San Bernardino is somehow this horrible place to live. It's not. San Bernardino's a great place to live. Yes, we know the problems San Bernardino faces, but the city once called the All-American City is also Anytown, USA. Anytown, USA. Anytown, USA. There are numerous photos of city motels and the underbelly of any city. If you go down into the sewer, you're probably going to find something not so savory. But you can find those same types of photos and stories in Riverside, Ontario, Moreno Valley, and yes, even in rich Rancho Cucamonga. The photos the LA Times left out were of our beautiful baseball stadium, home of the champion 66ers, our new transit center, the Metrolink station, the new Hall of Justice, the home of 2 well-respected colleges, and a world-renowned cardiac care unit at St. Bernardine Hospital. They left out the many tree-lined streets with houses that are full of people who work hard, who are building small businesses and building San Bernardino, striving to make a living with a business in a place they call San Bernardino. A place blessed with more water than average, beautiful weather, great seasons, and geographically convenient to all of Southern California. A place where opportunity abounds, with lots of heart, and an economy that is taking off